We're at Southern Conference Football Media Day. I'm Dave Friedman. That's Chris Hatcher, the coach of the Samford Bulldogs. Tell us who we're going to see on the field, because there are not a lot of familiar faces on your roster.
Well, Dave, first of all, thanks for having me on the show, and I wish I had a real good answer for you. Offensively, we have really just two players, Quincy Crittenden and Preston Bird, that saw any action last year. And then defensively, we're going to be led by Jaden Mosley, Conroy Cunningham, our big defensive end. And then after that, we're going to roll the dice and see who has a good summer camp, and they're going to show out the first game versus West Georgia.
There are people that are very high on Quincy. You've been around good quarterbacks. How does he fit within that?
Well, first of all, he's just a really good student of the game, and he's had the opportunity to sit behind some good quarterbacks in Liam Welch and Michael Hires. And then when he got his opportunity 2 years ago in the championship season we had, he took advantage of it. I thought that last year he had a good year. I know his statistics showed that. We were plagued by a lot of turnovers and inconsistent play, by the other 10 men, which always affects the quarterback. And he had some really bright moments, and then we had some down moments as well. But he's matured a lot. I need to be a little bit more aggressive calling the game when he's in there. I thought last year, due to our lack of offensive production, we were just so turnover happy that, I probably, hampered him a little bit at certain times. So this year we're going to turn it loose. He's the guy that's got to play well for us. He's got the most experience, and he really needs to play like he did versus Western Carolina in that last game and use his legs more than he did in the early part of last season.
Last year, you averaged 24 points a game. The prior 5 years, it was 29 or more every single season. Who will Quincy be distributing the ball to get you into those 30 and 40-point games?
Yeah, well, offensively, that was probably our worst offensive output that I've had in a long, long time. So we got to fix that. At receiver, I really think Preston Bird's got to be the guy we talk about today. He was a true freshman, played sparingly in the first part of the season. The latter half, he came on and had some big catches, especially against Chattanooga. He had a great day. They had our upset win at their place in the second to the last game of the season. We went out and got a transfer in Jaden Gibson from Virginia. Through spring ball, he really has good speed, great ball skills. I expect him to be in the line of another great receiver that we've been fortunate to have at Samford. And then we're going to rely on a bunch of names that no one listening to this podcast would have any clue who they are. So we'll see how that goes. We got to find us a running back, C.J. Evans, a transfer from Tennessee State out of Mobile. He had a good spring. He'll probably go in at number 1, and then Ken Cherry will be number 2. And then the question is offensive line. We don't have anybody that has taken meaningful snaps coming back on the offensive side of the ball. We do have a couple guys that played sparingly last year for us on there, but I think we're talented up there. But this summer camp is going to be crucial to their development.
When you look around the Southern Conference, what do you see?
I see a lot of teams that are very equal in a lot of different areas. I've said that, I guess, golly, this would be maybe my going into the 14th season as a Southern Conference football coach, 11th at Samford, and then 3 at Georgia Southern. I tell people all the time, this league the parity is so great, and week in and week out, the scores show that. A lot of the games, they come down to the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter, and it just depends on who makes the plays there late in the ball game. And this day and age with so much roster turnover, I'm assuming that every coach you talk to, there's a lot of more unknowns now on their roster than in years past. So again, I think we're all a little bit about the same in a lot of different areas, and that makes it difficult because there's some great coaches in this league, and I'm sure there's going to be some surprise teams this year that maybe we're not counting on here at the beginning of this preseason.
Last year, after Mercer, there was a group of teams kind of all in that range of second, third, fourth. None of them got a bid to the playoffs. And it is that parity you talk about. In the Southern Conference, there's no off day because you play everybody within the league. And the bottom of the league is pretty cagey. Do you think the league is underrated?
I do. And, you got to give your props to the the Missouri Valley and the Big Sky. I mean, the Dakotas and the Montanas. They've dominated the championships seasons there. They've had great years. So you tip your cap to them. But outside of that, I do. I don't think that our league gets as much credit as it deserves. We do play everybody in the league. Everybody in our league is good. I mean, at the end of the year, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to get beat. So not everybody can go through the league undefeated. But the years we've made the playoffs, I've found that our top 4 teams each year are as good as anybody in the country, in my opinion.
Talk a bit about your defense, new defensive coordinator, and a group of fairly new players as well.
Well, there's no question about it. My defensive coordinator last year, Adam Braithwaite, he went to Cincinnati, which we had a great defense. Then I promoted Brandon Cooper, who had been with us for a couple years, and he goes to Troy University. And fortunately, Scott Sloan, who's no stranger to the Southern Conference, he was at Georgia Southern and Appalachian State. He's been around the block, and I've known him for quite some time. And he was looking, and the timing worked out for us. So we're excited about the expertise that he brings. He's brought a really simple approach to it because he got there a week before spring ball started. Our guys have taken a liking to the scheme. They performed really well during spring ball. So I think that's going to be a strength of ours. There may be a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. But I think that those guys come game one are going to surprise a lot of people.
The out-of-conference schedule is daunting. 2 games that are guarantee in nature, plus at Austin Peay. It feels like it puts a lot of pressure on that West Georgia game to begin the season.
Well, all games are big games. If you want to be a championship team and make the FCS playoffs, every game counts, and we take that approach. Each week is championship week, because you look back, at the end of the season and say, boy, if we didn't win that first game, we probably would have made the playoffs. If we didn't win this game, we wouldn't have made the playoffs. So they're all big, but yeah, that first one we need to get out of the gates good. We stumbled last year, turned the ball over a lot against those guys. We have them at home. Then, of course, we played the Citadel week 2, an early Southern Conference test. And then, of course, you got Baylor and Texas A&M, the money games. Very rarely do we ever play 2 in 1 year. It just happened to work out this way. And then late in the year, you go to Austin Peay. But, to me, the big thing is you got to be good in your conference. And, we put a lot of stock in every game we play, but those conference games are extremely important, especially when you play a 12-game season and 2 money games to boot.
Give us a key or two, a guy, something you need to do on the field, an adjustment you're making, a scheme change. What's something we can look for early in the year? What's something that this will determine if you do something well, you'll have a good, successful season?
Offensively, we need to run the ball a lot more consistently than we did last season. Again, you're asking this question to me in July, and I have a lot of new players that came in after spring ball that we're counting on. That answer would never change, though, year to year. You got to be able to run the ball well. That's something that we were not able to do on a consistent level last season. And then defensively, we got to do a great job of stopping the run, and that's what it all comes down to. And you're talking to a guy that would throw it every play if he could, but that's how you win ball games. And no matter who's on the field for us, we got to be good in those 2 areas to be successful.
Have you adjusted or have you had to change in any way with the way college football, the transfer portal, the 12th game, all of these different changes? Have you had to alter anything?
I wouldn't say alter. You have to adjust with the times. I mean, your recruiting philosophy changes year to year because of the attrition of the players that leave your team, and you have to go replace them with older, more experienced players. Due to playing 12 games, due to having guys, not there in spring ball, and you only get them a couple weeks in the summertime before you start practice. You got to be a little more creative in how you practice, keep the guys fresh, keep them healthy. One thing that I've noticed in this transfer portal era is that just the lack of depth is so noticeable. So you got to train your guys, have them ready to play, but you also got to be careful to make sure they're healthy on game day.
Coach, we appreciate your time. We're looking forward to the season.
It sounds awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yep.